Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of West Coast Gridiron. I am your host, Coach Freeman, and today I'm doing something a little different. As you'll see, got a little screen up here. Going to try and do a little screencast using Google Vids. Let me know how you like it. Let me know how it works, and we're going to go from there. So, trying to do like a little bit of a clinic series, going through some things that I'm going through, and just sharing some knowledge and seeing what we got going on. So today I'm going to go over 3-back or 30 personnel. I'm going to give you a run play. I'm going to give you a pass play, a play action, and then a deep, just regular 5-step drop that I was working on to seeing if maybe it helps. We'll see how we go. So personnel wise, we got an LNR receiver. We got a left guard, left tackle, right guard, right tackle, center, QB right here. And then we got our traditional tailback. And then these two guys, this could be like a true tight end fullback. This could be another tailback fullback, depending on what your personnel looks like and things of that nature. A lot of the times, these two guys, these two players are going to end up blocking on the edge or cutting back, or you can use them as a peel back to set up any kind of zone read or speed option on the backside. I'm going to give you one little look of an inverted veer. Go ahead and edit this play, kind of go through everything with you together. Again, we use a count system, whether it's gap or zone. You can use, again, gap down backer. You can use whatever thing that helps your players remember what to do. So again, out of this front, for us, again, we're going to run an inverted veer look. Now, these guys on the edge, these are always access throws for our quarterback. If we're in full spread, we usually have like an access to the wide side or depending on the short side, kind of depends on where we're running our zone read or RPO game. So like if we were running true zone read, like over here, and let's just say we were running zone into the boundary, then this would be an access throw. This would be the bubble RPO on this side and things of that nature. Or it could be the win route where we try to sit behind the backer. But in any case, out of this look, again, he's going to be right around heels at 5 again. And then we're going to be in split backs with a tailback behind with him at right around 7 yards. So what we're going to do is, again, they're going to get their count system. This is traditionally how our count works, is obviously they count to the play side gap. So center has 0, guards have 1s, tackles have 2s. You'll notice that there's some 0 1s and 1 2s. That's basically another way of saying ace, deuce, tray, or double, double. It's a way of basically saying, hey, we got a 1-2 stack. We're doubling down and we're doubling to the backside backers or the front side backers. So here we get a double team to this backer. We get a 0-1 stack to here. We're based up on this side. And then what's going to end up happening is our Y is going to arc release to outside the defensive end and look to lock the box. Could be the free safety. Could be the nickel here. Sorry, I left him as a 4 in case we're running true zone read. So could be the nickel on this side that he's locking depending on where he's aligned up. And then our Z, he's getting the outside contained. So again, it depends on, he's got lock the box. He's got force or outside defender here. And then our tailback is going to step across and he's got to get 4 yards past the defensive end before he cuts up. 4 yards. So that way it gives our quarterback and him a good read if he's going to go ahead and attack. If he's going to attack here and attack to the outside, or if he's going to pinch hard down inside. So if he pinches hard, then we're handing off and we're off to the races on the edge. If he attacks the outside run or outside zone or stretch, however you want to call it, then our quarterback's going to pull it and he's going to attack the inside. That's why it's inverted veer. Technically, the way you would run it would be the opposite way. When you run regular veer, your tailback's the one running the dive and then your quarterback's pulling, and depending on what you're doing, pitching it as well. And we can run this the exact same way on the other side, even if they stay in the same front. So if, for example, they're in the same front, they stay exactly where they're at, and then all that does is that just flips essentially a couple of these defenders here. So if we flip him, he becomes the new read. Again, change him back to the end. As we hit undo on huddle. Oh, huddle. So just say they, for whatever reason, stay in the same look. Then all we do is we adjust our counts. So again, tackle's looking inside gap. There's nothing there. He's going to work up. There's our 1 for the left guard. Now, because there's nothing inside his gap, but there's a backer here, if we can't get that, obviously we want to get double teams as much as we can. So we're going to work here to a double team, step back, and then attack there to the backside backer. That's going to be his 1. That's going to be his 2. And these are going to be position blocks. We call them goofy step, but they're going to step inside to block out, step in to block out. We don't really necessarily want them hinging, but we don't want these guys cutting down hard inside. And again, you can use these guys interchangeably if you have 2 really good backs. If this is a true split back look for you, then you could have your tailback literally arc release and lock the box, and then still have your Z looking for that outside defender. And then you have your second tailback or your Y running the outside zone, stretch, however you deem it, however you call it. And then he's reading and pulling up depending on if he comes, crashes down hard inside or goes out. So either way, you can run it to either side. And that's what makes this very dangerous is that the defense has to declare which way they're going to go. And if you have two good backs, that's going to be very hard for them to delineate which way they want to call their strength call. And you can leave it as an audible for the quarterback where it's like, hey, if they're going to overshift the front to this side, we want to attack the backside because right here, this gives us better numbers. In my opinion, this gives us better numbers. So, because again, now we have basically, 4-on-3, because if he drops down inside, we got 3-on-2 out here. Could have 4-on-3 if he tries to come outside and he tries to sit and come out. In any case, we have the numbers no matter which way they try to line it up. I just like running it to this side a little bit more as a personal preference. But again, that's the thing. It sets you up for either way. So again, it's a nice balanced look. Now, of course, as me getting a little bit tricky as an offensive coordinator, obviously you can play games to really mess with the defense. For example, you can shift out of this and motion into it. You can shift to it and motion out of it. So for example, let's just say you want to line up in more of a true like spread look. That's fine. You could motion this guy across, or you could motion him this way and almost being like a jet sweep kind of look. So if you were to motion him into this here, you could still run the same thing. He has locking the box. There we go. We still have the same exact look. Everyone's still blocking the same. And then and then your Y is still running your outside zone stretch play, and then your quarterback's still pulling. So different presentation, same look, and you can motion in and out of it. I mean, you could have half the guys lined up back there and motion to it. You could have both these guys lined up here, and you could do what we call orbit, and he could motion to the backside here, hoping to get maybe this outside backer to cheat in a little bit, and then still run the exact same thing, arc release, and then from here he's coming out, and then you're still running the exact same look. So little ways to dress it up to make it look a little bit different. And then even then still, if you want to get really kind of nasty as far as what you want to do, you could still we call rocket, and you could rocket him all the way across to the outside. And then if this backer doesn't go with him, if he sits, well, then you can just throw that little bubble right now, or you could still run the outside zone stretch play coming back the other way. You just have one less blocker coming for it. But again, same presentation, just a different way of getting to it. But you can still get to that inverted veer going that way. So that's one thing. Again, inverted veer, fun way to get to it. Next, we're going to go over the play action play. So the play action play is going to work similarly. So what we're going to do is, I've seen this run with 7-man protection. We're going to try and do it. I'm looking at more of a 6-man protection. I'll tell you why here in a second. I didn't like the 7-man protection only because I felt like we were losing an opportunity. So we're going to slide everybody to the left. Everyone's got their gap. Everyone's still doing their same counts. Again, we count on pass pro. We count on anything, right? So these guys are all sliding to the gap to their left. He's got the 2. These two could go 0-1 to here. These 2 could work with these 2. And then instead of having the Z attack the outside, the Z is going to kick out the unblocked man or the unblocked defensive end. And then for whatever reason, if this defensive end sits or doesn't do what he's supposed to do, the Z could always just well, we were playing games with him where maybe he could come up and sit in the middle, or he could go out, but we don't want to send him out to the flat because we're going to have the T run out to the flat, as you'll see here in a second. So we have a post route by the R, and then we have a wheel route by our Y. Again, faking the arc release, going to the wheel route. And then we have our tailback still running the outside zone stretch. Now, as he runs the outside zone stretch play, as he gets out here, instead of trying to block the end, we want to stretch him, and then he's just going to sit essentially right there, what we call the ticks, right there on the sideline. He's just going to sit there, and he's going to be the last check down. Because what we're going to look for is we're going to look wheel to post, and then if we have time to hit the cross, that's great. Otherwise, we're going to go wheel, post, check down, depending on what's going on, what we see out of cover 2 or cover 3. So, because again, if it's cover 3, one of two things could happen. If he's going to play hard down inside, like let's just say for whatever reason they're in a cover 2 look, fine. So if they're in a cover 2 look, we'll see what the corner does, because if he drops with the wheel, then we can automatically hit here. If he's going to sit, then we're going to hit the wheel right behind him, depending on what the free safety does. Because the free safety wants to go chase the wheel or go up on the post, or if he clamps down because he sees, again, you can call this cross, you call it a drag. We're calling it more of a cross because we want him to go over the backer, but in front of the safety, because we want to get him, if they're in a cover 2 look, we want to get him to get these guys to drop down in front so we can work the post wheel combination. If they're in a true 4-3 or a cover 3 look, then legitimately we just want to look wheel to post to cross, and then if we can't get to that, then we're going to hit the check down late if we can. So that's essentially what we want to do, because if it's cover 3 and he's playing his 7 to 8 yards off, he's going to carry it. Free safety's going to sit there because he's going to see he's coming across. So if those two end up going with the post, then we're going to hit the wheel route. If for whatever reason, like I said, that corner just kind of goes off with the wheel, then we have the cross to the check down over here, depending on what this nickel does. Because if the nickel sees this back, maybe he freezes. Or if these guys are truly good at handing things off, maybe they alert the nickel that he's got a crosser. So then he's got to make a decision. Is he going to sit with the crosser or is he going to go to the flat? Because in true cover 3, he should be going to the flat. So again, if he goes to the flat there, then again, we go wheel to post to cross. If he's going to sit, again, depending on what we're doing, we can go wheel to post to flat if he sits. So again, you're looking at the corner first and foremost. Are they in cover 2 or cover 3? If they're in cover 2, again, we're gonna look to try and hit the wheel route, because the post is gonna be taken up by that free safety and that strong, unless we can get the strong safety. So again, we're gonna look at that post first. If they're in cover 3, we're gonna look for the wheel, and then we'll work to the shallow or to the cross, and then to the flat route. So again, easy play action play. You fake the outside zone or the inverted veer. He backs off. He makes his read based on what he sees. Cover 3, we're looking to the wheel. Cover 2, we could go post to the cross to the check. So in either way, the check could be very last if you absolutely need to. Because if everything else is covered, then chances are the flat's not going to be covered. So, and then worst case scenario, quarterback's got to take off. But if you're running the inverted veer, you're getting 3 to 4 or 5 yards of carry. They're going to start cheating. He's going to start cheating. You could get that post. You're definitely going to have a shot at the wheel. And then if all else fails, you got the crossing route coming up underneath. Because if they're sitting back, waiting for the post, waiting for the wheel, you'll have that crossing route coming open a little bit late. So again, a nice little simple, easy play action pass built off the top of it. Nice, easy little piece there. And I'm going to show you a quick pass that we built into it. And then just a regular pass that I'm looking to keep. So in that way we can stay in the same formation if we want to go fast. That way we don't have to move in and out of it. But this is something I've just been playing with. We haven't put this in yet. Again, it's just something we're tinkering with to see how it looks. But this is the play action pass that's built off the inverted veer. So the quick pass game is just, again, one of our favorite pass plays that we had. And we loved running double slants last year. We made a killing off of it as far as a bunch of yards. We ran double slant and we ran slant arrow. So this one I just figure, again, this is an easy one, especially what I see at the high school level. A lot of the time, these backers and safeties do not keep track of the back. So you could run a 6-man protection, run the same thing, get the slide route, get everything rolling. Again, the only thing that's going to be a little bit different is your tailback's going to release to the outside. But again, it's a quick pass. It's supposed to be something just to get them off their feet. You got on the ball real quick. You're in the same formation. You've been hitting with the inverted veer. You hit them with the play action. And now all of a sudden they're cheating. They're doing some different things. And now you think you can hit a quick pass on first down, maybe even second down, whatever that may be. So you hurry up to the line and you get some slants and outs. So again, these backers are put in a very bad position, especially if you get one high safety and they're running a cover 3 or even like a man free look. Because again, corner's going to follow. And if he gets lost, especially this nickel to this side, because both backs, you got one that's going to release to block the end, the other one's going to release to the edge. If he gets lost in which one he's supposed to have, or if these two guys get confusion, you could have a big play, especially if they're in cover 1. This corner ends up going with that slant. He gets lost because he doesn't know which back he's supposed to pick up, because one stops to pick up the end. You could end up with a nice, easy, big gain there. Or again, in any case, you're still getting 3 to 4 yards depending on if they're in cover 3. If he bails hard to go to the flat, then you're getting that slant off the back end. If he sits, then again, you get the flat route here, corners off, and then you got a one-on-one with the corner. So it's a nice, easy adjustment. If you've been hitting with the inverted veer, they drop down the safety, makes it a nice, easy play to sprinkle in with your run, with your play action. Now you have a quick pass where it's just catch and release and just get that ball out. Have them read one of the outside backers, whichever one you deem based on film, whichever one you think is going to be the easier read for him. And maybe that's the one you send both backs to. So, I mean, you call this Rain, Lightning, Ringo, Ricky, Lucy, Rocket, whatever you want to call it, to get these guys going left, right. So, I mean, if you want them all going left and you want to bring that tail back to the right, then again, if this nickel guy isn't a very, you notice he struggles with backs out the backfield, send both backs that way so he gets lost, not sure which one to go to. Then he might get stuck and lost. You might end up getting with a cheap play, especially if they run a lot of man. If they run a lot of cover three, then again, I think you're set up real nice there. If they run a lot of quarters coverage, again, like true quarters, then again, I think you're set up relatively nicely because, again, especially depending on which backer you think you could take advantage of, especially if they have to sit him in the box and they don't make any adjustments, you could get some leverage with a tailback out the backfield. So, again, no matter which coverage they run, I don't know. We had a lot of success with slant outs through our time last year. And I mean, we're going to still make our slant, our double slant now. And then you could also still get your whip routes. You could add something like this to it as well. And then outside of that, you could tweak this to where instead of him going out, he goes out and then maybe he comes back in on a trail, whatever you want to do to make some adjustments, kind of tweak it. So again, nice, easy pass, play action, and then a regular run play on top. I'm going to show you the actual drop back pass here in a second. And then finally, our deep pass, or again, the like an actual 5-stepper. Again, this is something I'm playing with. I don't know how well this will like pan out, but I'm tinkering with it, trying to get 5 receivers out, on like a 3rd and 6 or 2nd and 6, just trying to get a deep ball or just a little bit deeper of a pass out. So again, I kept the play action look with the post and the wheel, primarily because, again, if it's like a cover 3 look, then again, it gives us that opportunity. If it's going to be cover 3, then we can have our tailback on this nickel back and we can get an easy wheel route, especially if he's not a very good outside backer. If they're going to give us a cover 2 look, now here's where we can have a little fun, because now, again, we can go corner to a seam comeback with our tailback, because, again, he's going to have to pick up the second seam, even if they're in quarters. If they're in cover 2, he's going to have to pick up that second vertical as he kind of bails out to his hook to curl spot. So depending on if he sees him goes vertical and he passes him off as he gets to 10 to 12, he can make a little comeback and have a nice little thing against cover 2, depending on what he does. And again, if it's cover 4, normally your backers are going to be responsible for flat. So if it's cover 4, this will work out real nice. If it's cover 2, again, you could go corner to seam, because, again, that could hold the safety, and then you got the corner out if it's cover 2. And then, of course, if it's cover 3, you're still attacking the seams. This, not so much, because you're going to have the corner backed off in cover 3, but you could go wheel to post to seam, because if the wheel for some reason gets covered by the corner, free safety took the post, well, that means your tailback's open because he's on this outside backer or this drop down safety here running the seam route there. So again, it gives you something against cover 2, gives you something against cover 3, gives you something against cover 4 if it's like a true cover 4, not an actual like pattern match. Pattern match might be a little difficult with this, but again, something tinkering with. And then this down right here, because again, we had the flat route originally with the play action pass. Well, I tweaked it a little bit because obviously you want to get your 6-man protection, but in case this defensive end for whatever reason doesn't come hard, or if he sits because he's been playing inverted veer, got hit with play action, now he's just sitting there. If the Z sees that he's not coming, then he can bail out late. And again, that could be the check down for the quarterback if that defensive end, or if it's a 3-4 and he's an outside linebacker, then again, maybe he's able to then play that to where if everything else gets covered and that defensive end doesn't come, or outside linebacker, because let's just say they're in that little bit of a 3-4 look and he's an outside backer, they drop down the nickel. So again, and he for some reason just kind of sits there. And same thing here. Maybe he takes the tailback and he goes with him and he drops and he just sits because he's been hitting with inverted veer and play action. He just sits. Well, then the tailback can squeak out and be in the flat as an easy check down for the quarterback if he needs it. So something I'm tinkering with. Not sure. We'll have to see how it looks and how it actually pans out. In my head, it looks good. It sounds good. But obviously, you need the personnel, you need the players. This is more of a deep ball pass, where you're trying to get anywhere between, could be a shot play, or it could be where you're just trying to get somewhere between 5+ yards or 6+ yards, trying to get something deep on the defense because they're cheating on you because you've been running inverted veer, or maybe you just run in zone on them all much. Because again, you can run zone, tinkering with some counter and some power out of this as well. But I just wanted to give you an easy run play with an inverted veer, want to give you a play action, quick pass, and then just give you something to chew on, something even I've been playing with a deep ball pass. So Again, let me know if you like this kind of style of video where I get to screenshot it, draw some things up, and you can kind of take a look at it. Again, let me know if you like it. Share in the comments, share it, like the show, share the show. Let me know. And thank you all for listening. This has been West Coast Gridiron. I've been your host, Coach Freeman. Have a good day.